So you have statically analyzed the program source code and perform a binary or the code analysis on the program's executable and may have used some dynamic analysis tools to test the program. While it is running, you now believe that you found a security issue in this program, but you cannot find any reported the issue in the program release note or bug tracking system or the program author's website discussion forum or any of the usual vulnerabilities or exploit database. Even Google search turn up. So no one talking about the problem. So what do you do now? So what reason you may not find any public discussion on the issue is that you haven't really found a problem, or at least a problem causing anyone to complain. Consider that you may be misunderstanding how the program operates or misinterpreting its input or output. It might be something that looks like a problem, such as an error message, but it's really not an issue that need to be correct. You can also find a genuine problem that is very minor and not potentially a security issue. If any of this might be the case, what you need to find is I would find a public discussion forum and related to these types of problem and ask what other people think about it. So if you want to keep your discover private, just in case it's really a serious exploitation bug, then email the program developers and ask them about it. Then obviously the developer will give their preferred method of contacts on their program website. But if you decided to report the bug, you can just look at the contact information for the software developer. So send off an email, I guess, hopefully to receive the thank you in return. Maybe go and talk about it in some public forums and let that be the end of it. However, if you have discovered a problem that potentially serious security consequences, then you will need to take care of it. So you can report the issue and how long you keep the information confidential. And yes, security related software bugs should not be immediately disclosed to the public until a patch of the problem is made publicly available. So also there is some rules for the disclosure, like privately contact the program's developers, owner or maintainers. So and use the reporting method to specify by the program's owner, and do not make a public problem report unless you ask to do so. And because of that, mostly use the reporting format is specific by the program that owner own, and also provide instruction for duplicating the rules, and give the program owners some time to respond to your report. So you have to keep patient. So and also work for the program developer if you asked, and report to a reputable white hat vulnerability organization at the end. And for the full disclosure, encourage user and security research to look for exploitable vulnerabilities. So and for the owners, you need to fix the insecurity system and spread awareness of vulnerabilities to prevent them in the future. And also the dark side of the full disclosure is that black hats will become aware of the vulnerabilities and craft exploits for them. And also civil actions for damage against vulnerability will be discovered, and it will be all public. So it's better to be private disclosure to the problems owner or programs owner, and it should be the ethical behavior is the, I guess, as we call the best defense. So vulnerability database and reports. Vulnerability buffer and information about the buffer and overflow vulnerabilities that have already been discovered and made public can be found in various of sources. These sources are often called vulnerability dictionaries or databases and contain reports of tested and verified softwares flaws that can result in security related consequences, like each report details and a design, implementation, configuration or user issue of a software or hardware system that can present a exploitable vulnerability or expose information. Vulnerability tracking databases are often found in a variety of public places and private websites. Of course, you can just try like Google, but narrowing a searches to a specific vulnerability databases may speed up your finding results. So let's look at the few places to find buffer overflow. The most universally recognized vulnerability report is the Common Vulnerability and Exposure at cve.mitri.org. The CVE is a dictionary of public disclosure software, which is a vulnerabilities and information exposure that have been discovered and reported by the software vendors and also White Houses and security researchers, and is usually in the form of references to other documentation. You won't find any explicit vulnerability details in the CVE reports themselves, and only information used to compare the vulnerabilities. Like the CVE dictionary is like freely available online for worldwide. Use the CVE uses a uniform identification and a description system to maintain consistent reporting of the information. Like each vulnerability added, the CVE dictionary is assigned to a CVE ID, and these IDs are called CVE names or CVE numbers or just CVE. See the EID number and the year of the order the CVE was published, and as a reference to a single vulnerability in a specific public software distribution. There are currently over 75,000 CVEs IDs published since 1999. So finally, when searching for software and system vulnerabilities, information was sourced that may not occur to you vulnerability because of the exploit databases. These are the information about how to exploit vulnerabilities and software systems. These sites makes available hacking tools, exploit code, and hacking tips, and all sorts of security research and paper and documents, vulnerability and exploit blogs, and even a discussion forum. Don't be surprised to see that they offered a buy and sell of both vulnerabilities and explain the exploits in both sites. So if you are a white hat, these sites are invaluable researchers for aiding you and not only testing for the presence of specific vulnerabilities, but also inducting hot source of information and capabilities. And the black hat community has access to remember that information itself is not evil. It's what you do with the information that determine your moral and ethical behavior.